With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the lamp of Dharma for all bewildered misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the lamp of Dharma for all bewildered misery's gloom.
A refuge field, visualizing all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in front of you, and particularly Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and the author of the text, whose book we are studying, Bodhisattva Shantideva, and the manner in which you visualize them is like you are a very young child being bullied by elders in the school, coming home to the mother, and the mother waiting there with so much of love, care and affection, just ready to embrace you and with full attention. This is how exactly all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are waiting there with so much love, affection towards you. And what is the field? Your two kind parents on the two sides, all your family members around you, and all dear sentient beings. The manner in which you visualize them. Here you are the mother, and all others are like your children, coming home. So much sadness and so much pain, and coming home to see the mother, and you are there. There's so much love and affection, to the extent that each of them feels so special in your eyes. If any practice, any virtue that we do, if you could incorporate these two things, it enhances or it helps us enhance our practice exponentially. And the purpose of this practice is finally to cleanse or finally to disclose the hidden treasure of Buddha nature, the perfect purity, perfect state of enlightenment, which exists within each one of us. And how to disclose that is by eliminating, is by cleansing this purity, perfect purity, the state of purity from the defilements which obscure this treasure of the Buddha nature. And what are the defilements? Afflictive obscurations and cognitive obscurations. It may sound a little technical. It doesn't matter. Just keep listening and keep studying more, and this you will find very helpful in your understanding of the meaning of your life. Afflictive obscurations consist of three parts. Afflictions, like attachment, anger, jealousy, and so forth. Contaminant karmas, such as all the actions which are driven by these negative emotions. And the active seeds of the former two. And whereas the cognitive obscuration, which consists of the subtle stains of the above three, of the afflictive obscurations, and these subtle stains reflected in the form of us having a distorted appearance of the reality, seeing things in a very distorted way. Things appear to us in a very distorted way, while everything is dreamlike, yet they appear as so solid, so intrinsically, so objectively out there. This is the greatest deception, and this is what binds us in samsara. And these subtle stains reflect in the form of a self-centered attitude. In short, all the afflictive obscurations can be boiled down to, or underscoring all these afflictive obscurations, is self-grasping ignorance. And the self-centered attitude, which is the reflection of the cognitive obscuration. So these are the two things to be cleansed from the mind, so that the incredibly beautiful, incredibly precious seed of the Buddhahood becomes manifest, hidden treasure becomes manifest fully, and that you become so distanced from the fears of samsara, one experiences the bounties of happiness eternally. Okay, that is the purpose. With that in mind, and imagine that all sentient beings are joining you, and you are leading this group, and inspiring all others to join you in this practice. With that in mind, let's recite from page 2 to the paper. And teach by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel the perverted views. To you, the Bodhisattva, I pay homage. And teach by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel the perverted views. To you, the Bodhisattva, I pay homage. And teach by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel the perverted views. To you, the Bodhisattva, I pay homage. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness and no sameness. I prostrate to the ultimate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is free of aberrations. I prostrate to the mother of the Buddhas and of the years and Bodhisattvas, who through the knowledge of all these years to complete peace, who through knowledge of past causes those have been migrated to achieve the aims of the world, and through possession of missions the subduers and forth of righteous and all aspects. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashamanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato yavadat tesham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashamanaye swaha. For a very quick review of what we have already covered, the title of this text, the title of this text is A Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. So as we already recited the mantra, Dhyatha Om Gade Gade Para Gade Para Sam Gade Bodhi Soha. So the final destination is Bodhi, enlightenment, full perfection or full enlightenment or Buddhahood. That is the final destination. Anyone who has already started this journey, Gade, anyone who has started this journey, Gade, and in the process of getting there, to this highest goal, you are designated as a Bodhisattva. Bodhi is the enlightenment. Sattva is the hero or the courageous one who is daring to face the challenges of following this very noble journey, a journey towards this noble goal of enlightenment. So anyone who starts this journey and in the process, before getting to this final enlightenment, final goal, that person, whether you're a girl or boy, it doesn't matter, you are known as a Bodhisattva. Bodhi is the enlightenment, the noble task, the noble goal, and Sattva is the courageous one who is daring to follow through this journey towards Buddhahood or towards enlightenment, Bodhisattva. Now the title of the text is known as A Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. So what should you, someone who is an aspirant to become Bodhi, and then you become Bodhisattva, what should you be doing? That is known as Bodhisattva's way of life. How you lead your life. What should be your deeds? What should you be engaged in? What should you be doing? That is Bodhisattva's way of life. Now the question is, what guidance? Where can I get the guidance? Guidance as to how the Bodhisattva should be leading a life, so that there is this gade happening, that you are not stagnant. You are always in the process of getting closer towards your highest happiness for oneself and for others. So this whole chapter, this whole text with 10 chapters, they are given to provided to us as a guide for us to follow through this path, gade paragade parasamgade bodhisoham. So we see that from what we learned earlier. So to take this journey, we need two main things. One is the direction. We need to have the direction. We need to know where you are going. What is the destination that you are going? So that is that will be provided to us by the eye of the wisdom. By the eye of the wisdom. So we should know the direction. We should see the direction properly. So that is the wisdom, eye of the wisdom. So this wisdom is taught in chapter 9. Is taught in chapter 9. And then it also needs the push. It also needs to drive the determination, the drive, the energy for you to go actually move. There should be the energy there. So this energy will be given to you by, best given to you by the practice of Bodhicitta. Practice of Bodhicitta. And the practice of Bodhicitta is taught in chapter 8. Chapter 8, which is what? Which is meditation. The chapter is known as meditation. And the chapter has two parts. The first part is how to meditate. And chapter 2, what to meditate on. So, not the second half. Second half, what to meditate on is to meditate on bodhicitta. So the bodhicitta, which is the driving force to carry you towards Buddhahood, that is taught in chapter 8. Okay, and then how to prepare yourself for these two points, the wisdom and the bodhicitta. Then the preceding chapters are taught. Preceding chapters like benefit of bodhicitta, then the confessing the negativities, then the engaging in the seven puja, and then the practice of conscientiousness, alertness, enthusiasm, practice of patience. All these chapters are taught as ways and means to prepare us to actually acquire these two means, bodhicitta and the wisdom and emptiness. Okay, so now we have started this chapter since many months ago, and we are now on stanza 161. Stanza 161, and those of you who are coming here relatively freshly, I would encourage you to listen to the early recordings. And there are so many teachings on bodhicitta given by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. You can track the website of His Holiness, dalailama.com. From there you can listen to His Holiness's teachings on bodhicitta. And we also have the early recordings of the earlier sessions here. We need to know the two methods. So precisely how to systematically meditate in bodhicitta, how to cultivate these two thoughts to revolutionize our own thinking. There are two methods. One is the sevenfold cause-effect method to generate bodhicitta, and the other one is the method of equalizing and exchanging self-others. So these two methods we already discussed in great detail, and the recordings are available here in Tibet House. So those of you who are keen to practice these two methods, I would very much encourage you to get the recordings from Tibet House 1. Then what we are studying here, these are specifically with the second method of equalizing and exchanging self-others. And the author of this text, Bodhisattva Shantideva, his text, His Holiness the Dalai Lama teaches so often. This text, His Holiness the Dalai Lama teaches so often. So that way we see that the whole teaching on this is available by His Holiness. We have to track the availability where we can get that. Okay, so this is to mainly in relation to the second method, equalizing and exchanging self-others. Once you know the 9 steps, as to how to systematically meditate on equalizing and exchanging the self for others to generate this bodhicitta, once you know these 9 steps so well, and then to reinforce your understanding, to reinforce your experience of these 9 steps, then what we are studying from this chapter 8, we need to know which stanzas to fit to see where these stanzas fit in which of the 9 steps. Okay, Now stanza 161. And from this we see that if you are attending just the first or the second session here in Tibet House, then you will see that this is something very different from how we think. And how we think is dominated by, if I do this, what will I get? This is the dominating thought that we have. Now, this text, the author is telling us that this is the wrong approach. Always expecting something in return. That is wrong approach. That is what attracts all the miseries, rather than attracting positive results on you. So expectation in return. That is what attracts all the miseries. Now, our thinking is being revolutionized by the author here. Okay, let's see. 161. I must separate myself from happiness and take upon myself the sufferings of others. Why am I doing this now? In this way, I should examine myself for faults. What he's saying here is that I should separate myself from happiness, meaning that the happiness that I have, I will offer them to other sentient beings, and the sufferings that other sentient beings are going through, I will see how much I can take them on myself. So that way, you exchange the object of cherishing. You start cherishing others more than to oneself, and then you may be wondering, why should I do that? Why should I do that? Why should I take the suffering of others? I'm already so rich in suffering. Why should I add suffering of others onto the already existing terrible and innumerable suffering which I'm going through? In fact, this is known as the secret, the big instruction, the secret of the teaching. Meaning that this teaching is something which the ordinary people cannot digest. People cannot really fathom. People cannot really understand. And what we should be doing is to start with the two questions. To start with two questions. One, what do you want? What do you want? Don't say what others want. What should I do for others? Don't start your question from there. Start your question from what do you want? Right? The fact is that we have to start from where we are. We should be very practical. We should be very practical. And some people, right, maybe from their past lives, they're already familiar with some kind of compassion, caring for others, and so forth. So they feel it's something wrong to say that, to begin from myself, right? And then they tend to be focused more on others. And then the moment you ask, what do I need? What do I want? The moment you ask this question to yourself, you find it a little uneasy. But then, be daring. Start from there. This is the fact that we are in samsara. The fact that we are in samsara is a clear indication, is a clear proof that we are so rich in self-centered attitude and self-grasping ignorance. So don't feel shy to start with these two questions. We are already, and the Buddha, the purpose for the Buddha appearing on this earth is to help us.
So what do I want is a very deep question, right?
Yeah.
It is something where it is a question where it diverts us from doing something.
So simply whether it is, I want money, or I want power, or I want to help others, or I want to see others happy. Whatever your answer is, don't worry. Begin from this question. Even if you crave for money, or even if you crave for a good car, start from there, right? Start from this question, what do you want? Never, say, what do you call it? Say, just think about some fantasizing, Don't fantasize. What can I do for others? Don't begin from there. The moment you begin from there, then when you see others, so selfish, then you see that this world is so cruel, then you shut yourself up from the world. This is a wrong approach. Whereas, if you start from this question, what can I do for others? And then in the process, you find so much of challenges and hurdles, still you don't give up, you continue, you become even stronger, what can I do for others? You are on a proper track. Whereas you start with this question, what can I do for others? And then in the process, you find that the whole, you may see one person so selfish, other person so selfish, and then you may think the whole world is selfish. This is the wrong judgment. This is your wrong way of starting. So start from the question, what do you want? Then you may say, I want a car, I want more money. And once in England, in Cambridge, when I was there, I think 2003, I was there, and there was a physicist, and the physicist, his wife. And the physicist, he was so brilliant, extremely brilliant, and his wife was very straightforward. She said, okay, I'm not really interested in all these questions which my husband asks. Right? I'm not at all interested in all these things. What I want in my life is simply I need more money and to lead an easy life. She said, very true. We have to start from this very basic question. What do you want? You want academic, acknowledgement, or you want academic skills, or you want money, you want fame, you want happiness for yourself, or you want your family to be happy, or you want others to be happy. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want, just start from there. Start with this question, what do you want? So if you say car, what for you want car? Ask this question. So superficially, you may see that all the wants are very different from one another. But in actuality, no. Say, there may be a Buddha statue made of diamond. There may be a devil statue made of diamond. There may be a ring made of diamond. Right? They take all different forms. Buddha statue you revere. You put in the altar. And the devil statue, because it is made of diamond, you may not throw that. But as a diamond statue, as a devil statue, you may not like it. You may put it on the side, right? But to make sure that it's not stolen by someone else. Right? After all, they are all made of diamond. It's the same thing. Likewise, superficially, we may see that all the wants that we have, they are very different. They are so divergent. But in actuality, no. Underlying, just as all these different statues, they are made of the same diamond. All our wants, all what we want, they may assume a diverse nature, but in actuality, we see that they are all of the same nature. What do you want? I will need a car. What for? So that my travels, all these things become convenient. What is that? Then I'll be happy. So what you want is happiness. Then some may say, I'm not interested in car. I'm not interested in money. I only want fame. Right? What for you want fame? Oh, that way I'll be happy. Again, happiness. And one day there was a world-renowned quantum physicist. After the conference, I invited him to my place for some questions on quantum physics. And in the process, my journalist friend, Newsweek journalist friend, he asked him, "You are such a world-renowned physicist, and then you do all this and so forth. Finally, what is your goal? Why are you doing all these things?" And he said, "I feel happy. By discovering things like this, then I feel happy." Again, no. Even someone who seems to be least caring about the food and these things, but then they crave for what? New discoveries and inventions. What for? So that I'll be happy. So underscoring all these different wants is happiness. This is what I'm saying. Given that happiness is what we all seek. Happiness is what we all seek, including the non-believers. Including the non-believers, we all seek happiness. Even the tiny insect, right? You touch it and it will pretend as though like it is dead. Very tiny insect. Just maybe say 1/100 of a millimeter. 100, 1,000. Just a ton. We could hardly see that. And you touch it and it will pretend as though like it is dead. It doesn't want to die. It wants to live. There's want. And why? By dying is misery. This tiny insect doesn't want to go through misery. So no misery is happiness. Everyone wishes happiness. Finally, this is the hallmark of the existence of all beings. And even someone who commits suicide,
someone who commits suicide could not bear the suffering of the pain the person is going through, and thinks that by committing suicide, this suffering will come to an end. Even that is done with the wish for happiness. So this is what is undeniable fact which governs, which drives every single sentient being to move from one place to other, to engage in activities. Okay, with that in mind, what do you seek is happiness. Right? The next question, what degree of happiness do you seek? This next question, what degree of happiness do you seek? 10%, 50%, 60%? Then the answer is, if possible, 100%. If possible, 100%. If it is possible, 100%. So this is answer. So with these two simple and basic questions, then this text will become so sensible, so valuable, and so meaningful. How? Because that we need happiness. Because that we need the maximum happiness. So the Bodhisattva Shantideva here, he says that if you really want maximum happiness, so the most sensible thing to do is discard your self-centered attitude. Don't discard your self-centered attitude because of others, because for your own happiness. If you want the maximum happiness, discard your self-centered attitude. Discard all the habits, discard all the attitudes, discard all the emotions led by the self-centered attitude. The moment that happens, you will see the dawn of genuine happiness. You will see the dawn of genuine happiness. So for that, see how much we can experiment it. Just experiment it for 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. Right? And then we see that as we become more and more competent in saying no, in relinquishing this self-centered attitude, one becomes happier and happier and a happier person. Look at His Holiness the Dalai Lama. What makes him so happy? What makes him so happy? He's so concerned about every single individual person. So he's so concerned about everyone in Tibet, everyone in the world. I could very well remember once, I don't remember the place, but in a hotel where His Holiness was during one of his the travels or visits. There, once one of the attendants was very busy asking the hotelier for some food, cakes, whatever. And then I asked, what for? For His Holiness? And he said, no. And what for? He said that I have to go down. I have to go down? What for? He said, I have to go down, which means that some instruction. What for? He said that there's one beggar down there. From the hotel top, could see the beggar, and then beggar down there to give it. What made you do that? His Holiness asked me to do that. His Holiness from the hotel top, he could see the beggar down there, and he instructed his attendant go down and give some food and give some money. So look, just he's so concerned about each and every single individual. It's not that His Holiness up there and then say the very high profile people come. No, he's just concerned about each and every one of us. Is what I'm saying, right? And then say what he really has. What he really has is this unconditional love for others, one, and this incredible brilliance of knowledge, two. Combination of these two make him so special. Just he comes out, and everybody wants to see his face. He comes out, and then people get the kind of joy that people get. So just having a glimpse of his face is something which these people, they have never experienced before in their life. So this is who he is. And what makes him so special like that is because he has acquired a skill of happiness. He has acquired that skill, which we the ordinary people think that if you have this quality, which is referred to as the skill. If you have this quality, then this will lead us to the worst of the nightmare, which is other cherishing. The moment we cherish others, we think that, this will make me poor, this will make me suffer. This is the opposite. We have been experimenting, we have been living with the opposite of self-centered attitude. What is that? No, opposite of other cherishing mind. What is that? Self-centered attitude. We have been living with it since time immemorial until now. And what is the result? The result is all just terrible hopelessness, miseries, pains, fears. This is the result. Now why don't we experiment? Give another try. Give a try to the opposite attitude, the uncherished mind. Just give a try to this for 1 month and see what is the result. But then in a very systematic way, in a very skillful way. If we do that, then surely we all have this brilliant Buddha nature, just as His Holiness has. We all have this brilliant Buddha nature. We all can have this Buddha nature. Once we practice the uncherished mind, the self-centered attitude will automatically disappear. As it disappears, then what happens? Buddha nature within, the light within you, it becomes manifest. It comes out. Then you become like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, right? So the mere presence of you, and then people just seeing your face itself is such a relief for those people which they have never obtained in the life before. Okay, so now the point here, what I'm trying to share with you here, is that what we are seeking is happiness. What degree of happiness we are seeking is, if possible, 100%. So for these two simple and basic questions, the answer given by the author is that so far we have not achieved that because we trusted the self-centered attitude. And because of this, we have never experienced the happiness, we have never experienced the lasting happiness or 100% happiness. So if you really want that, what should we do? We just discount the self-centered attitude and resort to our cherished mind. So the Bodhisattva Shantideva, he concluded by saying that all happinesses the world contains are derived through wishing happiness for others. All miseries the world contains are derived through wishing happiness for oneself. And what more is needed to mention, look at the difference between the Buddhas and the ordinary beings. What made the Buddhas as Buddhas and what the ordinary beings are ordinary is simply for no other reason other than the Buddhas are endowed with the other cherished mind that makes them a perfect enlightened being who were once as worse as what we are today. And then what we are now is because we are characterized by this self-centered attitude. That makes us so vulnerable. That makes us samsaric beings. So look at the difference between the Buddhas, the plight of the Buddhas, and the plight of the sentient beings. So this is how Bodhisattva Shantideva, he so beautifully captured this idea of cherishing others as a means to acquire the greatest of the happiness. Okay, with that in mind, then with this understanding that self-centered attitude is the greatest source of misery, and this is the greatest source of destruction of yourself. And other cherished mind is what creates all happiness, all happinesses, what attracts all your peace, happiness, and everything good to you. So if you get this as the basic understanding, then all what we will read will make sense. Okay, 161 again. I must separate myself from happiness and take upon myself the suffering of others. Why am I doing this now? In this way, I should examine myself for faults. Why I've not been cherishing others. Why I've been so selfish till now. I should not be doing like this. I should do the opposite. I should cherish others and give my happiness to others. In the process, you are giving the maximum happiness to yourself. What you want is happiness. And this happiness is only attracted when you cherish others. It's not that you cherish others and then you forget yourself. But the best way by which to be kind with yourself is by cherishing others. Okay, 162. Although others may do something wrong, I should transform it into a fault of my own. But should I do something even slightly wrong, I should openly admit it to many people. Okay, so this says, you may see that, this is such a self-denial concept. No. What the author is encouraging us to do here is to crush our self-centered attitude. To crush ourselves. It is not asking us to crush ourselves. It is not encouraging us to crush ourselves. It is asking us to uplift ourselves, to make ourselves happier by crushing our self-centered attitude. So these are the tips that the author is offering to us. Okay. Although others may do something wrong, I should transform it into a fault of my own. Look at, this is so beautiful. Say, look at how the mothers and the children, say when but of course not all the mothers, I would say 95% of the mothers will behave like this. 5% I'm not too sure, right? Say if the child, because of mishandling the glass, and the glass falls and it breaks and the pieces hit the child and the child is injured, the mother will go there, and if someone else who doesn't love you, right, and you are injured because of you breaking the glass with that person, what will the person's response? In most cases, how dare you broke my glass, right? Seeing that you are injured, the other person is least concerned about your injury. Other person is concerned about my glass is broken. Whereas in the mother's eye, even if the glass is so expensive, seeing you injured, your mother's mind will go towards your injury. You will forget about the glass, right? I'm sorry that I kept the glass there. It's not the mother's mistake, it's your mistake. But the mother, because she loves you so much, she will simply see that you are so badly injured. The mother will simply accept as though like it is her fault. Right? It is my fault keeping the glass over there. I'm very sorry. So are you okay? Then take you to the hospital. And just however expensive the glass may be, it could be something very expensive, very rare material. But then the mother's mind is not towards that side, but the mind towards you, because of the love. So this is how the mother forgets her own well-being, and the mother is simply concerned about you. In the process, because the mother forgets her own well-being or her own self, anything which disturbs the self does not bother the mother. So disturbance is not happening to the mother because of the mother's mind is towards others, towards the child. So this is what is happening here. It says, although others may do something wrong, I should transform it into a fault of my own. But should I do something even slightly wrong, I should openly admit it to many other people. So this is to crush our self-centered attitude and encourage our other-centered mind. Okay, just experiment these things. Just experiment these things, small things, and then say, okay, so these things happen oftentimes. Say the other person injured, and you lose your thing, the object that may be broken, and other person is injured. Then under such situation, if you are trapped in such a situation, what will you do, right? And then just see how much, even though your mind goes towards that, what you have lost. Instead, just see how much you can let your mind flow towards, concern for the other person. And then see what is the overall trend of your mind, the feeling which accompanies your mind at that moment. See, you see that your mind becomes more peaceful, and then your mind is more gentle, it is more tender, and less disturbance. These we can all see very clearly. And after all, let's see, all these small things, they are all impermanent by very nature. They are to be bound to be broken, bound to be worn out. And then, because of this breaking, the breakage of the glass happens. At the same time, your compassion grows. Wow, this is amazing, right? And some very thoughtful parents, they deliberately try to make their children go with good people, go with good children, go with good classmates. And they would even say, offer gifts to the children who the parents consider so good, and then seeing that your children are going with these children. So these parents, they are being kind towards those children. So in a way, it is like teaching your child the goodness